right, so we have Beth joining us, and Beth is an online tutor who has been sharing some really great strategies for organizing her business. And one of the questions was asked in our group of how do you organize all of your students? And she's been using a tool called Trello. So tell us all about that, Beth.
So I've been using Trello for a while now. I use it for a lot of things, not just with my tutoring, but just for my own personal organization as well. I just think it's a really cool tool to use, and it's really easy to organize everything that I need, and it's, since it's digital, I can, make notes on my phone if I'm away from my computer, or like I have two different offices that I bounce between when I have students in person and then students online. So I can access it from two different computers. So it makes it a lot easier to, keep things organized.
Awesome.
So I guess what I can do is I'll just share my screen and show you how it works. I shared this with you, Joanne. I have like a lot of personal information on my actual student notes Trello board. So I didn't want to share that, but I just sort of like made a little demo board to show you today.
And you make a really good note, because there is a law. It's called the Child Protection policy that we all have to be made aware of. It's called COPPA, C-O-P-P-A, and you should never be sharing any of your students' personal data with anybody, even if you're creating a recording like this, unless you have that parent's permission in writing. So you really want to protect yourself. So I appreciate you doing that to be able to show us.
Well, and I thought that this might be a better way too, because I can organize things so well with Trello, I could just sort of like make notes for myself so that I wouldn't forget to show you any of the features. So basically this is what a normal board looks like. And basically you've got different lists in each board. And like I said, like I have boards for my personal stuff that I do, like we have, so you can make as many boards as you want to, and then within each board, you can make a list, and as many lists as you want to. So over here on the left, I've got this list, and I just sort of like put some cards in here to show you like some of the features of the cards. Cool. So here, this is a card. And so when I open it up, you've got like a description, and you can put a checklist, and there's just like all kinds of different features that you can use with this. So and it's all editable too. Like I can go back in and change things if I want to. So like for the description, you can type whatever you want here. Down here you've got a checklist. I mean, you can make it however, you can put whatever you want to. And another feature that I like is that you can name a checklist. Like if you use the same checklist over and over again, then you can pull it from another card and reuse that checklist in a new card each time.
Oh, so you can save the checklists.
Yeah, exactly. So like, let's say, you're wanting to work on 3 or 4 different skills with a student each time. And you can create that checklist, the first time, and then each time you go in to work on those same skills with a student, then you can just pull that checklist again, and it'll pop up fresh, like unchecked.
Wow, so cool.
Yeah, and so then I also like how like when you check things off, it'll give you like a percentage, and you can see that in this part, like you can see here where it says 3 out of 4 are checked off.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of other features, and these are comments down here. And I have like a little student card, like a little demo of what I would normally use the comments for. But mainly like this is where I just sort of record like what I work on with the students from time to time, for each session. But let's see, let me show you some of these, like there's member features. So I don't really actually use this feature, but I guess like if you're on a team or, you know, if you have like a tutoring group or something
Sure.
like that, then that would be, you know, something that would be helpul.
What about if you
Labels
wanted to send it to the child, to the student, to their email?
Yeah, so yeah, you could do that too. You could add, I guess, like if the student or if the parent had a Trello account, then you can, yeah, you can just add them in here.
Got
and
it.
Yeah, search for their member name.
Yeah. Now, is Trello a free service or paid?
It's free. So they do have a paid version. I don't use the paid version. I know there are some other like features and perks that it has, but this, all that I'm showing you is free.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it really looks like you can organize all of this information. You could even use this for like to-do lists and so much more to organize your business.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I do for, like I said, with my other boards. I have, you know, just what I'm doing with my business, like aside from each of my individual students, and then what I have going on, you know, just personal stuff. And yeah, I organize it that way.
Very cool.
So let me see. So on this card, I wanted to show you some of the other like features. Like I said, we talked about the members. Labels are really cool. I use these a lot. So I tutor a lot of different subjects, like within elementary and then upper level math. So like I can go in and I can just pick which subjects I'm working on, and it labels it for me.
Nice.
There. Yeah. And so then it shows up here on the face of the card. And you can even like click this and see what subjects you're tutoring in. And then I showed you the checklist, due date. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. You just can go in and pick a date, and it will kind of give you a little reminder. So like if I need to remember to email somebody or, you know, whatever it is, then I can just kind of like set a little reminder for myself. And then you can also do attachments. And so I attached a cute little picture of my doggy.
Oh,
there's Max. He's a corgi mix. We don't know what he's mixed with, but he's just
sweet and lovable and awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So I use this feature a lot with my students. Like if the parents bring me a report card or like their 504 plan or, you know, their IEP plan, I'll just snap a picture of it and then upload it in here. Perfect. And then that way, when I'm going to, you know, work on whatever it is that we need to work on, I can just access that picture and say, oh yeah, this is something that was marked on the report card. We need to make sure that we work this into our sessions.
Nice. And so then Trello is also on your like mobile app?
Yep. Yep. It works really good on the mobile app. They've been really doing a lot of work recently to add more features and just make it more accessible on the mobile app. So I really use it a lot on there. You know, if I'm, like I said, if I'm away from my computer, then it's really easy to do. And then that's how I upload the pictures too. I'll just take the picture with my phone and then upload it to Trello on the phone app, and then I can access it here on the computer.
Very nice.
And then you can also do links. So like I talked a little bit about comments, but like in here, you can actually link to, you know, a web address. You don't really have to do anything here. You can just like copy and paste the web address in here and it will save it. But you can also link to other cards within Trello. So like when I'm trying to make sure I have enough materials, let's say for my students, then I'll create a new Trello list. And, you know, like one will be math and one will be reading and one will be writing. And then I'll link to other students' cards to make sure that I've got, you know, like when I'm shopping and getting my materials, then I'll make sure that I have all of my materials for those students that I need to get stuff for.
Cool.
But yeah, like as you can see, you can link to lots of different things, or you can just put a web address in here. And actually that's what I do for like my Zoom and BitPaper links. I'll just link right directly to
that is great.
Yeah.
And I usually put that as child stuff, so you always have it.
Yeah, exactly. So then, because I always have this open during the session, so that I can just type any notes that I'm, need to make during the session, so I don't forget.
Yep.
Because that's really where this came from, is because I was just forgetting. From week to week, on average, I have about 25 students that I work with. So, just keeping all of that and keeping it consistent from session to session was starting to become really difficult for me. So I found that this really helps me keep on track.
Even you can put kid information inside of here. So if you have you can, when you first start working with a student and you just snap a picture, you could add the picture on in there, because sometimes you get a lot of students at once. All of a sudden you've got 4 or 5 new students and you're like, oh shoot, what am I focusing on with this kid?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And that's exactly what I do. Yeah. I just go in, I just have what I'm working on with each student, kind of what the main focus is, and then notes of what we've gone over. And it also is really helpful too, because then, if parents come back and want to know what we've worked on that day, then I've got a little list, or what we worked on a couple weeks ago that I surely can't remember today what I did a couple of weeks ago. So, it's good to go in.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. I love the system. It's so neat and organized and wonderful. Any other features that you've been using that you wanted to show us?
So this formatting card, I did want to, because the formatting is a little bit, it's not as intuitive as I wish it were. So for example, if you wanted to do a bold print, then you would have to put it within 2 stars and then do this, and then it would save it, and see now it's in bold right there.
Got it.
Or if you want to do a bulleted list, then you have to have an extra space and then a little hyphen, and then it will put bulleted for you.
Got it.
And so I put this link here to show you, because this was really, I was having a hard time figuring out how to format things. But I put this link in here, and it shows you exactly how to make all of these different formatting marks.
Oh, that's
in
perfect.
Here. Yeah. So here they have all the examples, bold, italic, crossed out, things like that. So
that's very helpful.
Yeah, so that's really helpful to have. Let's see. And then, one other feature that I really use a lot is I have a waiting list right now, because people are just, wanting tutoring, and I just don't have the time in my schedule. So what I always do is I set up a waiting list to kind of help me keep in mind whenever I have a spot that it opens up.
Yep.
So I have this, and then I also always keep a new card for a new student, so that when I do that initial phone consultation with my clients, I've got all of these questions and things that I want to make sure to ask them about. Nice. Or, I always have a phone conversation with my new clients, and again, I just don't want to, forget to tell them anything. And so then I can just actually copy this card and make a new card in this list. And then now I've got, 2 new cards, and then I can change this one to,
that student's
whoever it is that I'm talking to. And then I can, cool. And you can click and drag and move things around. You can move these lists around wherever. So yeah, and then this is for a regular student, this is typically the kind of information that I keep in here is, what kind of subjects we're working on. Like I said, the Zoom link, the paper link, And then I'll just have, kind of like notes about what we worked on for each day.
That's perfect. Cause then you can always keep track of, okay, here's what I'm thinking. Here's some things that I don't want to forget. Yep. Absolutely. Awesome.
Yeah. And especially right now that I'm starting to transition into the summer, I'm really taking notes about, okay, what do we need to make sure that we work on this summer that we didn't quite get to during the school year, or maybe we just need, a little bit more practice on that skill. So I'll just sort of make notes, and then that way I have it up and running. And I use this, like I said, like whether I have in-person or online students, my in-person students see me typing in this and they're always like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just taking some notes, just so I can remember what we're doing for next time. And I think a lot of times they're like, that like shows them like a good organizational model, and they can start using that for their own organization. And I have a lot of students that have started using Trello because of that, just to help themselves stay organized with their own schoolwork.
Yeah. This is a really great system. I absolutely love it. And are you able to draw anything? I've got a Surface Pro. Can you draw, or is it all typing?
I don't think there is a drawing component. You could, I think the only thing that you could do is like, maybe like draw on a whiteboard or something, and then snap a picture of it and then put it in as an attachment.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
I don't think that's a feature, but yeah, that would be a good thing to have as a little doodle note or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, that's a perfect solution to it, is definitely being able to take that little snap picture of it and you can throw it on in there if you wanted to, or you don't have to. So yeah, I use OneNote a lot.
Okay.
To be able to, every one of my kids has a board, and then we take our notes on it. And each day that I work with them, I just create a new page. So it's like my whiteboard and my organizational system. But I really like how organized this is. I can see how it can not only be beneficial for organizing your students, but also other tasks that you need to accomplish within your business.
Yeah, exactly. I've been using it, like I said, for about a year now. And so, so I'm, at first I was just sort of importing what I already had, my paper and pencil note-taking system that I was working with before, and just sort of importing it. But now that whenever I start with a new student and start making notes in here, it's so much easier. It's all just right there on their card, and it timestamps everything. So, if you go in and make a comment, you have the date that you talked to that person or you did that thing. So, so yeah, it's really helpful.
That is perfect. This is a great, like a CRM, back office tool that is free.
Yes.
So,
well, I think that's what it was originally created for, was, in a business world. That's why, you have the members. And so when different members of the team are creating or working on tasks, you can actually assign tasks to different members of the team and whatnot. But it works great just for personal use too.
Yeah. Good to know. So if you want to get organized in your whole life, use
That's
Trello.
right. I know, like I feel like I'm a spokesperson for Trello or something, but I really do use it a lot for just everything, just to keep myself organized.
That's awesome. That's awesome. When you find those tools, though, it's so fun to share them with other people and just be like,
yes,
this really works. Here, take a look at it. At least try it out. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything except for a little bit of time.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. I know lots of people are looking for ways to really get organized and have different, and everybody's different. Everybody's going to have really latch on to a different, tool that's going to work for them. And, this tool is really going to, I think, latch on to a lot of people as something that's really useful.
Yeah. It's very customizable. Like you can make it, like these lists I created because that's the type of list that I need. You can make whatever kinds of lists that you want that works for you. And, use it in whatever ways. And there's so many other features that I didn't show you that, that you can find on here, like all of these different editing features and copying and moving pieces around to wherever you need them. It's just really flexible.
Yeah. So our suggestion is take a look at it, play around with it, see if it can work, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share how it works with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Hey there, so what you've just seen is an excerpt from the Insider Secrets Club. We are a group of online tutors that get together and we answer other people's questions that they have about online tutoring, and we brainstorm together. Along with, we have book clubs and we have live conferences for online tutors to learn how to run an online tutoring business. If you are interested in joining us, we are on Facebook. You can join us at the Ultimate Support Group for Online Tutors. Along with, if you're interested in getting more videos just like this, hit subscribe so that you can stay up to date on the latest with online tutoring.